You may have had a volunteering experience, a sports, public speaking event, something which you feel you're really good at is something that you should be mentioning in this paragraph. Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be talking everything about the statement of purpose or the SOP that basically we send to universities abroad. So there are certain things that we should keep in mind once we start formatting the SOP, and those are some of the things that I hope to convey through this video. I normally divide my SOPs into different paragraphs, and I make sure that I include certain aspects of my life into these paragraphs. So whenever I start the SOP, the first thing that I normally talk about is why dentistry or why engineering, what basically motivated me enough to choose this profession. So there could be various reasons. I wouldn't really recommend including some of the generic reasons like I had braces myself or I had a treatment from the dentist. Although I don't recommend it, but sometimes some of the instances that some of us experience could have had a deep impact in making decisions in our life. So even if you feel that is something on an average people would mention, it's still okay to go ahead with it because that experience, in a way, the way it made you feel is unique to you. Also, make it a point to include certain background information like the city I grew up in or something about my family, because when we're talking about the place that we grew up in or the kind of family that we grew up in, that kind of really gives an insight as to what kind of a individual you may be to the admissions committee, and that's something which is important. And if there's anything that you feel kind of shaped your personality, must and should include it. But moving on to the second paragraph, I normally include what really happened in my undergraduate college, like what assignments or what researches that I was a part of, or even like, the faculty interactions that I've had or the duties that I was meant to do as an intern. Things like that are really important to mention in this paragraph. If you've done something different, that's amazing. If you've done many restorations and it developed a keen interest in you towards endodontics residency, you should definitely be mentioning things like that in this paragraph. So there is a kind of flow into the SOP, right? So in the first, you're basically talking about why you chose the profession. Second, you're talking about what really you learned in that professional school. And third, what were your experiences? This could be even like you doing a master's program or working on field, working in a clinic, working in an office, or working in a research program, anything which basically helped you cultivate the knowledge more and you're cultivating your skills more. That's basically what this paragraph is all about. This paragraph is mostly showcasing to the admissions committee is that you have undergone challenging circumstances, because at the end of the day, you're moving to a different land, you're moving to a different culture altogether, and to be able to adjust to that while learning how to balance your academic requirements is something that the admissions committee is going to be able to judge through this paragraph. Even if you've not had any rigorous academic exposures, but you've shown a sort of consistency throughout your academic career, that even is a plus point. So basically what I'm trying to say is that everyone's SOP is going to differ. Just because the other person is having 10 researches under their belt, there's no necessity for you to feel any less about yourself, because even if you've done like hundreds of extractions, 10 extractions, it's okay. There's always room for improvement, and that's what you're basically showcasing through your SOP. In the fourth paragraph, I would like to include something extracurricular. They definitely want to see a diversity, not just in ethnicity, but also in the way that we all think. So you may have had a volunteering experience, a sports, public speaking event, something which you feel you're really good at is something that you should be mentioning in this paragraph. And also, if you've worked together with a team, which basically showcases your collaborative spirit, you should definitely include that, because at the end of the day, whenever we go into a professional program, we have to be working with a couple of peers, right? There are a lot of project assignments, or even in a dental office, we're working with a lot of dental hygienists, dental assistants, right? There is a requirement to maintain a sense of balance and integrity. Of course, if we have been in professional settings, we would definitely have interacted with a lot of individuals, and it's always good to bring about this kind of instances and what it really taught you. It's not necessary that everybody should have leadership qualities or everybody should have some leadership experiences. That's not an absolute must or something, but basically what I'm saying is that we should try and bring about certain things that showcases that we function well with a group of people, that we kind of collaborate. And in the fifth paragraph, I normally would mention everything about my clinical experience, because what we did till now is trying to say, I've had the research, I've worked with patients, I've done these many cases, I have kept up to my schedule. That's what I've been trying to do all this time in all of these paragraphs. But right now, what I'm trying to say is that my practical skills are good too. Because at the end of the day, we have to go out into the world and practice as dentists or engineers. So you have to bring out those experiences in these paragraphs. And if you've gone on these conferences, conventions, presented papers, won awards, mention that in this paragraph. And when I say things like this, it's basically giving you an example that nothing that you mention in an SOP is going to be weird, right? If you feel that there was that instance in my life where it kind of taught me something really important, you should definitely go ahead with it and mention that in your SOP. Irrespective of whether whoever in this world is telling, don't mention it. If you know it and your gut says that you should keep it in your SOP, keep it. With the clinical experiences, if I've had any US experiences, right? So if you've come here to shadow, or if you've had any kind of experience in Canada, US, or any of these places, it's always good to mention that, because then the admissions committee, or you would basically know that this person has exposure to the standard of care which is practiced in our country. That's basically what they're trying to see. The last paragraph is all about why you want to make the big move. A lot of people have many reasons, but it's always good to mention why you want to make the big move, why you want to get into a DDS program, a particular program. You cannot write school specific answers here. If the school wants to know that, they will give that in the supplemental questions. In this last paragraph, I normally would write why the DDS program and why you feel you're the perfect fit for a DDS program. Things like that are really important to mention. And you can also add a note on how would you want to build on this DDS degree. It could be that you want to own a private practice, or you want to practice as an associate dentist, or you want to get into research, or you want to do a residency program. Could be any of those things, but you have to kind of elaborate as to what your future plan is, because that would be a nice way to say, I'm taking this profession very seriously and I've come here to make a mark. All right. So this was what my SOP looked like pretty much. And it got me 4 in whites. And I hope that this helps any of you in formatting your SOP. And I hope you have a great time writing your SOP. I will be making another video regarding SOP, which are with certain points that are important in generic to SOP. Got nothing to do with the content, but mostly of things like when you should start writing and what are the things that you should be keeping in mind.